Welcome to the podcast that helps you protect, preserve, and improve your small business capital the right way. Your host, the Funding Doctor.
Hello, welcome to the Funding Doctor. Coming to you today from Studio A in LendCred corporate offices. My guest today is Tom Gazaway, CEO and President of LendCred. Good to have you with me today.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Today we want to talk a little bit about credit reports. There's a lot of credit reports out there, Tom. There's a lot of question about which one's the best and which one should I use and what score is really my right score. So maybe we can kind of clear that up today for some of the folks.
Oh, absolutely. And the whole debate about FICO scores versus FACO scores, what's my real credit score? We got a lot of ground to cover. So I don't know where you want to dive in. But this is big.
Well, let's just kind of start with some of the names people are probably familiar with out there. Credit Karma.
Absolutely. Probably your number one, most popular, most widely used kind of credit monitoring service, maybe the most widely used place where people go to find out about their credit. So Credit Karma is one. Another one that's been around a little bit longer, owned by Experian, is Credit Check Total. Very popular.
Absolutely. And True Credit.
True Credit, again, owned by TransUnion, one of the other bureaus, been around for a long time, very popular. So I like that. That's a great report. It's changed a lot over the years. You've also got the newcomers, so to speak, and if you're an entrepreneur or a small business owner, you probably need to know about Creditera, Tim.
Creditera, that's a real, probably the most robust one that's out there that people don't know about today, and certainly becoming one of the most popular credit reports.
We're also talking about the only place where you can get, in one platform, the only place where you can get business and personal credit. Creditera has probably been maybe close to a year now that they've been on the market and offering their business and personal credit reports in one place.
Absolutely. So that's probably the big 4 or 5 out there. So let's kind of start by talking about Credit Karma. You know, a lot of people are going out there and signing up for Credit Karma. Obviously, lots of TV ads and that sort of thing. If I go sign up for Credit Karma and let's just say it says my score is 650, then I should expect to go to the bank and they're going to pull up my score and it's going to be 650?
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. We know this. So Credit Karma is a great platform. It's a wonderful credit monitoring product for certain people and in certain situations. A couple of things I think we got to remember is, first of all, it's not going to be a credit report. Okay, so you're not going to see all. What you've primarily got is a dashboard, very robust dashboard with really good information, but you will not see a lot of information that a lender or an underwriter is going to need to see, and going to want to see if you're looking for financing. Again, great platform. The other thing, though, is Credit Karma is TransUnion. So you're not going to see your Experian and your Equifax credit reports or credit data. So a couple things to keep in mind there, Tim.
Which certainly, I think most people know, but if not, that might be different on each of those bureaus depending on who the lenders or who you're in debt to report to each month.
Absolutely.
So, but a great free product if you're just looking for a quick recap or summary of your credit.
And I think the other thing, if you're curious and if you care about this at all, Credit Karma not only is a great product, and yes, it has some limitations that we've kind of touched on. They make their money. They kind of monetize their business through primarily the credit cards and in some cases other products as well. The credit cards that you apply for through their platform, and they're an affiliate website for several credit cards. And again, very good. They've got a great matching service, so to speak. The score you will see on Credit Karma is a Vantage score, and as of the time of kind of taping right now, they are using the older Vantage score model. They're not on the 3.0 product yet. Don't know when or if they'll kind of upgrade that. So you do have a high-end score that's in the 900s, so you're not talking about a score that most lenders are probably going to use.
Because it's not a FICO score.
Not a FICO score.
That's where the confusion comes in for a lot of folks. And all of these services, in fact, right now are not FICO scores. There's one place to get your FICO score, which is myfico.com. So
correct.
That's an important thing to understand. And every one of these will have a different scoring model that will give you different points for certain things. So let's talk a little bit about Credit Check Total. You do get to see all three bureaus on Credit Check Total with quite a bit more detail than Credit Karma. Obviously, it is a report that costs, but you do see all three. It's an Experian product, as you mentioned early on, but you'll see everything on all three bureaus that you'd want to see about your credit report.
And Tim, I'd probably say too, I don't know when Credit Karma was formed as a business model. It's obviously been around for a while, but Credit Check Total's kind of been in this space for a long time. It's obviously owned by Experian. So if you kind of scroll back 3, 4, 5 years ago, it was a more common report. It was probably more widely used, if you will, and we saw it more often from consumers and people like that. So it's a great product. You can do certain updates, throughout the month a few times. I'm not sure the exact details, but it won't give you a FICO score. All right, it will give you a different scoring model, but you will get to see the data across all three bureaus, and you will see a full report, Tim, rather than just a dashboard.
The third one would be True Credit. And how does True Credit differ from Credit Check Total?
Well, so True Credit's owned by TransUnion. All right, so a little different, bureau, obviously, but they do have the three bureau offering as well. Credit Check Total offers the Experian only monitoring. True Credit offers the TransUnion only monitoring or the three bureau monitoring. So probably in many ways similar information and data that can be accessed, but probably a different user experience for the person accessing their credit report. But in many ways, even though they both use different scoring models, True Credit is comparable and comparable to Credit Check Total.
Well, the one thing that I like about True Credit is it gives me the reporting dates of when my lines actually report to my credit report, and that's a big plus to have that reporting date and be able to use that to help you with your credit score.
And what you're referring to, Tim, here is that when my credit card reports to the credit bureaus, most of your other credit monitoring platforms will not tell you that happened on the 12th or the 15th or the 23rd of the month. And where this commonly happens is, especially for people who either pay their bill off every month in full, or who maybe need to pay down some of their revolving credit card debt in order to improve a credit score, get some financing. When that happens, the nice thing about the True Credit platform is that you can tell when your Chase personal credit card is actually going to report the balance to the credit bureaus, the exact day of the month that will happen. And that's really important if you're paying your bill in full each month, or if you're trying to pay down some debt to maybe get some financing.
Yeah, first thing comes to mind is American Express, where most people pay that monthly and can pay it on time every single month, but the high balance will end up showing up on their credit report, even though it's truly been paid down to zero. And that can be a big swing if you're using a large, American Express card every month to pay down bills. So it's a great thing to have, and that's the one thing I really set True Credit aside, I think, from Credit Check Total.
And so, you want to keep in mind that the balance that's reported to the credit bureaus is normally going to be the balance that was present when your statement was cut. It's not the balance that you owed on your credit card after the due date. It's the balance that you owed the minute that statement was generated. So if you want to make sure that your balances are as low as possible, sometimes you want to prepay or pay your credit card just prior to the statement being cut.
Yep. Lastly, Creditera, they're a little bit newer to the game, but gosh, what an amazing platform this is going to be. I'll let you talk a little bit about the offerings that you have today and kind of where that's going, because we definitely think that Creditera has the opportunity to be one of the very best monitoring services, particularly if you're a small business owner, that you could actually get.
Well, yeah, I totally agree with that, Tim. It's maybe been a year or so now since they launched, and the platform is very robust now compared to where it was a year ago. And, I think if we had a crystal ball, we kind of all know with the development time and the people they have there, it'll probably get better over time. But there's no other place where an entrepreneur or a small business owner can go to see both their personal and their business credit in one place. And of course, we've done the math on it. If you were to get all of those business and personal credit reports in 3, 4, 5 different portals. Not only is that inconvenient with different logins and passwords, but you're talking about an expense that is probably unrealistic that most people wouldn't incur and the work involved. So really good platform. And not only that, Tim, and I don't know if you want to go here, but soon they'll have that business FICO score integration. And the business FICO score is kind of it's that elusive score that we've never had access to before, that only the lenders knew about. So it's kind of exciting time in the world we live in, that now consumers and small business owners can see that kind of secret score that we never knew about, for several years up until now.
A great product, ever changing right now as they build that platform and bring it out. And, business credit, in the past, they probably looked mostly at your personal credit, a little bit at business, but today it's changing very quickly, where business credit is becoming a huge part of the underwriting process when small business owners are trying to get their business loans. So it is a critical thing. And last I looked, I know the Experian business report was well over $100 to pull at one time.
Yeah.
So great product. Certainly would encourage that folks look into that as they're small business owners to see what they can gain from that report.
And keep in mind, too, if you are an entrepreneur or a small business owner, for really forever, in times past, there were all kinds of bankers and lenders and people in the small business financing space who would tell us and would tell people that business credit really doesn't matter. And that was kind of true a few years ago. And there were certainly situations where that may not have been true. But, nowadays, the way business credit scoring models have developed, grown, and evolved, they now are becoming used more widely, and they're becoming better predictors of risk and better ways for lenders to look at a holistic model or to holistically look at a loan application from a business owner. And there's even, with the way the algorithms have kind of evolved, there's even logic now that says this guy or this gal has only been in business for 3 months or 6 months, so they know to weigh those business scoring models more heavily on the personal scores versus the business scores. So if we're primarily talking about that business FICO score that knows how to balance both of those. And of course, it's been out since 1993. So in 30 years, they've probably gotten pretty good at it.
I think the takeaways here are, reports like Credit Karma, and some of those are summaries. Good for a quick look. If you want to dive deep and figure out, it's probably a little more difficult with that, or doesn't give you all the information you need. The credit check totals, True Credits, good monitoring services give you more information if you want it, and good reports. And I think number one real important message would be everyone should have credit monitoring regardless. It's important to you as on your personal side as it is for anything. So certainly the encouragement would be to check out one of these for credit monitoring. And then as a small business owner, heavily would suggest you take a look at Creditera. It's going to give you more bang for your buck and give you reports you're not going to get anywhere else without additional cost. I think that important to understand that if you're looking for a true FICO score, myfico.com, only place you're going to get that right now.
And Tim, if you are a small business owner, an entrepreneur that's listening, that's watching, keep in mind the importance of treating your credit as an asset. Okay, your credit is either an asset or a liability. Okay, it's used obviously for insurance and underwriting and all kinds of purposes, but it's either an asset or a liability. And if it's a liability, it's going to make your life more difficult. It's going to make it harder to get financing, hard to get insurance, hard to get the best rates, all those kind of things. So if it's not an asset, then try to figure out how you can make it one. And if it is one, then don't make the common mistake that business owners historically have been making, which is that as I grow my business, I just do what I got to do, and I don't think about the impact of my actions on my credit. And then 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road, as I can grow my organization to maybe the next level, I now regret something I did in the past because I wasn't thinking about treating my credit as an asset. So we really should begin to change that paradigm or start thinking that way. And if there's a couple of takeaways I might add in, I don't know if they're if it if it covers everything. But if you're a consumer and you just need a quick peek, no real big purpose for why you're there, but you want to make sure your credit looks okay, Credit Karma, free, and it's a great platform, very robust. If you want a true FICO score, then you're going to want to kind of navigate over to myfico.com. And if you are a business owner, you really want to give consideration to something like Creditera. I would guess, Tim, that in the future, there probably will be some other platforms and some other websites that will allow for a business owner to monitor personal business in one place. But today, they're the only game in town, so they're kind of grabbing all the market share.
Absolutely. Well, I hope this has been helpful in kind of helping you sort through all these credit reports that I know if you're a small business owner and you're looking for capital, you're being asked to get all these different credit reports from people, kind of help you sort through which ones might be the ones that you want to use and help you out in that manner. And certainly I appreciate having you here today, Tom. It's always good to get to sit down and talk about this kind of stuff. And as usual, we wish you all the best in your business and have a great day, and we'll see you next time around. Funding Doctor out.